thing. It's not something that you're prejudiced against anymore. It's what most people do. I mean, video games are the largest entertainment industry in the world.
But they're still weird. It's still a niche, isn't it? The biggest industry in the world is a niche. Right.
We don't even have tea.
Oh yeah.
Wait, I'll move the chair now. How do I do it?
You'll press the button. Wait, now.
I don't think this is a good opening. There we go.
So, today we're going to be talking about the new Netflix comedy, Special Correspondents, starring, written, directed by Ricky Gervais.
And also starring Eric Bana. And other people, like Vera Farmiga, is that her name?
I don't remember.
Woman from The Departed.
Which one's from The Departed?
The wife.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just know that Ugly Betty's in it. That's,
Yeah, has you.
if anything, that's the person I had the most connection to.
So it's made for Netflix, and
Yeah.
it's about two radio folk who are supposed to go cover some kind of unrest in Ecuador, but due to wacky hijinks, they lose the tickets and end up pretending that they're in Ecuador, staging like these pretend radio broadcasts where they're reporting on events, like just using sound effects and things, whilst they're actually still in Manhattan. And then they pretend that they've been kidnapped, and hilarity ensues. Hilarity ensues.
The thing is that when you kind of go onto this on Netflix, it says like they have kind of Netflix's thing is that they have lots of like mini categories or mini genres.
These were like
tags,
specific
yeah.
tags, yeah.
And this one was just two. It just had comedy, a dark comedy.
It's the gentlest comedy. I said to you,
it's what we said is that it's almost like a new medium of comedy because it's so soft.
It's like
That's
it's
the
like if
only
you're
way to
trying
describe it.
It's like when a kid thinks he's gonna grow up to be a comedian, and he does like a little comedy show for his family, and they all politely laugh. It's that level. It's just some of the jokes are just like they're just jokes where it's just like he's on the phone to someone and he goes, "Oh no, we're going into a tunnel. Don't go into the tunnel. We'll lose signal." And that's what the jokes are like. Or just things like, do you know who Justin Bieber is? No.
Oh, and they keep going through celebrity by celebrity, like saying but it's
The Jonas Brothers? No.
It's weirdly.
It's just like, it is gentle, it's the word, it's gentle. It's really
just a very
timid,
gentle film.
kind of lame.
Yeah.
Like really just
Muted.
lame. Muted
That's
comedy.
muted.
And it's really weird because obviously it's Ricky Gervais, who's
Yeah.
normally anything but lame. Like regardless of whether you think he's funny
Yeah,
or not, his humour is usually very sharp, very edgy. And here it's just so.
It just felt like he did it entirely for the paycheck.
Which is weird
I
when
can't
he wrote and
imagine,
directed it.
Yeah.
Like if he did it for the paycheck and was just in it, okay.
Yeah.
But do people write, direct, and star in something that they don't care about? That's a really weird thing to do.
Yeah.
To do all of three
And
of
to
those
put your-
things.
Yeah, to put your name on it.
Yeah, it's a weird thing to do, but it does feel like nobody cared.
Yeah.
It really feels like the acting is so non-committed from people like Eric Bana,
Yeah.
who are good. People who are good actors, but they're just sort of like. Sometimes
you can tell no one really cares about this.
And
film
sometimes
at
it
all.
feels like, we were saying, it feels like they're just reading, particularly in the dramatic scenes, it feels like they're just doing like the first read-through, where they've met for the first time and they're just like, I can't believe you've done this, now I'm upset. And that's another thing, people talk in their emotions all the time, like he keeps saying things like, I'm a nerd and no one gets, but like he says that, like they describe himself all the time.
They definitely do like exposition checkups.
Yeah, the guy comes in and goes like, you have no one that loves you and no money. Like, thanks. Thanks for the update.
Not for like the. I mean, it's not spoilers, but literally at the end, they go up to their boss or something, and it's like the final update is like, I have changed my character, and so has he. He has gained independence.
That's exactly what it's like. The main guy just keeps saying, Ricky Gervais' character just keeps saying over and over again, no one understands me, but I'm not that bad a guy underneath. And he says that, though. He just goes like, oh, I've never really done anything or left the country, and my life's not that important, but I'm happy and nice. And then other characters go, yes, you are. And even when he's not around, everyone's always talking about him like, but he's so nice.
That's the thing. Again, with the humour, is that it's not like the jokes fall flat. It's just that they're so harmless.
Which is weird, because it's Ricky Gervais.
And it just feels like you tried. Well, no, it not even feels like you tried. I mean, it's just kind of like a pat on the head, like like you said, it's like the kids doing. But I just want to jump to this, even though it's not a good segue, but just because I want to see you get annoyed. But he is a nerd character because he does know comic books very well.
He knows comic books, he knows video games, and as you know, in today's age, no one knows comic books or video games. They are very niche things. If someone knows comic books and video games, everyone goes nerd and ignores them.
Especially people on Netflix.
That is exactly how people who read comic books and video games are treated now.
And it was
just... It's such like one day video games are going to be a massive industry, but right now it's just a niche. And comic books really are kind of underserved at the moment, and not many people read them or know much about comic book films.
You're going too far with this. I wasn't even that annoyed by it. I was just enjoying how much you got annoyed by it, because I forget the moment that you had to rewind with, he walks down the street and he goes, "Ooh, Amazing Spider-Man number 14, that's a good one. I collect comic books.
That's a good one. That's a good one. And it's so clearly from someone who's never touched a comic book in their life. It's like proper Big Bang humour. Big Bang Theory humour, where it's just like, nerds, you read these comic books, like as if I don't even think that he knows what an Amazing Spider-Man comic book is. If I didn't know that Ricky Gervais was a slightly intelligent person, I'd swear he's never even heard of Spider-Man, and he just walked by and he's like, I've read that one. It's a good that obscure nothing issue from 1963. That's a good one. That's a classic. It's like the Killing Joke. So it's like the Killing Joke or the Dark Phoenix Saga. It's great. It's a brilliant one.
The bit that
Brilliant. Spider-Man 14. Classic.
The bit that I was trying to get to was the bit where it was actually even worse, where basically his whole character is that he's kind of a sap and he has this bitch wife, and that's her character description, bitch wife, and so the whole point is that she's then going off and while they're apparently away
pretending to be kidnapped.
She's like, oh, I'm going to raise funds for this charity, but secretly it's all just for her. And she starts selling off his collectibles. And they have this interview in front of all these Marvel toys. And it's like... No. Before that, she goes like, oh, look, this is that Superman collectible. And then the other girl, who's the nice girl that you know he's supposed to be with, goes, that's not Superman, that's Captain America. And you're like, oh, she's for him. Because she's a nerd too, because she knows who Captain America is. The thing that bothered me is she was pointing at Iron Man at the time.
Was she?
Well, yeah.
I don't know. I was just so enraged by the whole thing.
The fact that they keep calling it, these are limited edition, first time collectibles.
They're not!
And it was Chris Hemsworth.
It was Chris Hemsworth. They were talking about as if they're these really obscure, antiquated comic book collectible figurines, and it's such so obviously a mass-produced Hulk from Avengers Assemble, because it's modelled after Mark Ruffalo. And it doesn't look like it looks like a cheap one that you buy from the Disney store. It's so clearly not a big thing that someone would collect, and then he genuinely says that cliche of it's not a toy, it's a collectible, and it's like, oh my god. Yeah. But it's like you say, it's Chris Hemsworth. It's a Chris Hemsworth toy, and it is a toy. It isn't of whatever he calls them. It is actually a toy. It's actually a toy. And it's Chris Hemsworth. It's not super rare. And then I don't understand how I'm supposed to believe that this comic book nerd's dream girl is so perfectly suited to it because she knows who Captain America is. That's supposed to be oh, I'm on her side because the bitch thinks it's Superman, but she knows it's Captain America. She knows she's a nerd like you. I hated that bit. I really did hate all that stuff.
So the film basically progresses.
Video games are the biggest industry in the world, but they make it out like it's really weird because a couple of times he's playing on his PSP.
He's not. He's playing on his phone.
No, he had a Vita at one point. He had a Vita at one point. Yeah. And then he buys PC Gamer because he's a nerd. That's the joke. That's the joke. There isn't a joke. He just buys PC Gamer. What else happened?
Okay. So the film basically progresses exactly how you expect it to. They get into this hijinks, and then they have to gradually. They just have to pretend that they're in country Ecuador, and then it kind of escalates as they have to think of bigger and bigger lies to get over it.
And then in the last 20 minutes, they actually go to Ecuador, and it's 20 minutes. And then it turns into Tropic Thunder at the end, and they start shooting the whole place up.
Where they're like, so it's just about 20 minutes from the end, and then they hear over the radio that Ricky Gervais just goes, "It's my birthday today.
We have to go now!"
And they're like, we should. It's been too long. We have to go back.
And then they start yelling at each other.
Yeah.
As if there's some sort of urgency or something.
So they just randomly, like, they go over to the woman's house, they steal the money that she's raised and all that, and then they hop in the car, they go over to, and then they hop on a boat and they get over to Ecuador, and oh no, they actually get kidnapped.
And then they shoot the place up.
Yeah, and then they start killing.
And it's playing the Ace of Spades, and it's like the most jarring tonal shift, because you go from really tame, boring, like Channel 5 daytime movie comedy to this weird snippet of an action film.
It's like,
and it's kind of like, it's not violent, but there's blood. It's like less tame than everything else.
It's the fact that this character's like the nice character all the way
all of a sudden,
and then he does
coke and starts shooting everywhere.
But he's smiling the whole time while he's killing these people.
Well, he's a nerd, isn't he? So he's got video game fantasies.
And then so he hops in, and then they hop in the car, and then they're fine, and then they jump to. They're in the embassy, and then jumps to the back home, and then
you raised a good point.
What with the jumping?
The editing.
That's what I just realised. Yeah. So there's this. So beforehand, Eric Bana sleeps with the guy's wife, as that's like a setup for a dramatic reveal that never really pays off. I would say, and so that basically plays out. But in the beginning, so Eric Bana comes back to his wife's house, and then goes through, like, they come in the front door and they're like, "Oh, is this your place?" Blah 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 blah. And then he walks through the room into the bedroom, and then it cuts to him coming out of a door, and he's fully dressed, and then cuts back to the wife, and she's in a dressing gown now, and you're somehow supposed to get that.
Well, I was asking you. I didn't know. I didn't.
That's why we
I thought they were
like,
about to, and then it turned out they had.
It's the fact that they didn't even show him like getting undressed or anything. Like, they showed him walking, and it's the fact that it was so poorly edited, because they showed him walking into one door and then coming out of another door wearing the exact same clothes, and it's the fact that you didn't tell that they did until she was wearing a dressing gown, and then they didn't even like.
They didn't even say anything that was
that to me
insistent.
Just proved to me that this was the laziest possible
properly
filmmaking that they could do.
And that's the thing I wanted to get, actually, because I really like Ricky Gervais. Like, he's done some bad stuff, but like, I never thought that he'd do something so blah. Like, I thought if he was going to do something bad, it would be like a spectacular misfire, or just not funny. But this is just so
safe,
bland and safe. And it's just exactly what I never thought he'd do. This is like, that's why it was so surprising that he wrote and directed it rather than just starred.
It just felt like it felt like he wrote the plot to a comedy and then forgot to add in the jokes.
Yeah.
Like I was saying to you, like every single opportunity they have for a comedy moment, they just leave it and then they continue with the plot. It's like he wanted to write a drama, but then he realised that he wasn't competent enough to write a drama, so he just decided, right, it's going to be a comedy, and then he forgot to write the jokes, and then we're just left with this.
And in my particular case, this is coming from a fan, so you know it's bad.
Yeah.
It's bad.
We don't do ratings on this, but yeah, I mean, it's
timid. It's just timid.
And it's not even the fact that I can't even like recommend it for like easy viewing if you've got nothing else to watch, because it's just boring.
Yeah.
It's just a boring comedy. Like, there's way better comedies that you could spend your time watching, like bad comedies.
Even like, to go on the Ricky Gervais thing, even Ghost Town's better. You should watch Ghost Town.
even.
And I never thought I'd say just watch Ghost Town, but just watch Ghost Town. That makes me sad.